anything I do is through God. You know, anything I do is through love. That's what I evolved to be. And that's what I'm doing right now. You feel me? So I want to thank God, because if it wasn't for God, I would have went crazy, y'all. You feel me?
So there's P. Diddy almost like praising and thanking God, because if it weren't for God, he would have done crazy things. And obviously that was a split screen. He was doing crazy things. He was abusing women. There are a lot of stories of him actually abusing men and potentially, allegedly, also abusing minors. Welcome to the Father Leo Show, where I'm dishing out faith, culture, and commentary. And in this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about the P. Diddy whole experience, the whole news cycle that has just been taken over, but with very limited pastoral understanding. So I know I'm jumping into waters that I am completely unfamiliar with. To be honest with you, I don't even think I would recognize a song from P. Diddy, Puff Diddy or Daddy Combs. Again, I don't even know his names. I just know P. Diddy, and I'm hearing the Diddler. I'm hearing all these crazy stories, but is it really surprising? We're going to jump into it with a more Catholic approach, commentary on the culture of music, and then I want to give you my commentary, but it's exclusively for all of our Patreon members. I want to talk about how you as parents and anyone in the music industry, what you need to do to protect yourself from this craziness, which we see is being revealed before our very eyes. But this is nothing new. And it's almost as if this is almost as common as, sadly, gun violence is these days. It's just a part of the culture that the music industry, the arts and entertainment industry has unfortunately created. But before we jump into it, please make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment, because it'll help get this message in this video out to other people, including people who may not be familiar with this channel. So it helps to overcome the algorithms that naturally suppress Catholic content. I mean, honestly, if I wore like a rainbow shirt and just kind of, I put pronouns down, I bet you that the video would go a little bit farther than it originally does right now. So your commenting, liking, subscribing, and sharing helps, and as well as support us on Patreon, because there you'll also get access to my commentary, which will be exclusively just for you. So let's just jump right into it right now with an understanding of the music industry and the Catholic Church. Are they mutually agreeable or diametrically opposed? Let's discuss. When we talk about music in the Catholic Church, we always make distinctions between what is sacred music and what is secular music. Our biggest struggles right now is that there are a lot of secular styled songs that are entering into the Catholic liturgy, and they are being used as hymns for church. And that can be a real struggle. Now, some of it is considered praise and worship, and there are a lot of Christian bands who are creating music that really do, I think, give great glory to God. I mean, it's just my God's honest opinion, or at least my preference, that I love sacred music. I love chant. I love polyphony. I like it when there is a choir, but it's got to be good. That's the problem. That oftentimes it's not always good, and it's like chalk, like nails on a chalkboard kind of thing. And then what's kind of even worse is that people are still playing folk music if it's contemporary music. And again, there's room for folk style music as well as room for contemporary style music. What we need to make sure, though, is that the songs are, first of all, singable, that they are scriptural, and that they lead to a sincere directedness to God. It can't be about us. It has to be something that truly glorifies God. And so the question was asked, is there harm in listening to secular music that isn't necessarily clean? And this comes from Gold Coast Catholic website from St. Petersburg, and this is from Father Joe Waters, who's the judicial vicar and the censor librorum of the Diocese of St. Petersburg. And he writes that, in his opinion, a great deal of popular music is nihilistic. It rejects all religious and moral principles and the belief that life is meaningless. Therefore, perhaps the greater danger of some popular music is that it can lead to despair, questioning one's self-worth, abandoning the search for truth and meaning. And this type of despair is that fertile soil in which grave sinfulness and tragic self-harm grows. So this is great advice from Father Waters, because what he's basically reminding us is that, yeah, there can be some unclean music that talk about sensuality and sexuality, and it might be more subliminal or might be more poetic. Sadly, a lot of music right now is just overtly sexual and overtly rude and crass and immoral. So obviously that's what you shouldn't be listening to. But like, is Taylor Swift someone you can listen to and still be okay? Well, that's one of the issues that we're going to have to understand, is that, you know, at one point, say Taylor Swift sang Christian songs. There are actually videos of her singing beautiful Christian hymns. And now she has videos where she looks like she is celebrating some sort of black magic and demonic worship. And it's so interesting because people in the music industry will even talk about their relationship with God, yet they sing and rap about things that are so contrary to God. Take a look at this, for example, of P. Diddy.
Anything I do is through God. You know, anything I do is through love. That's what I evolved to be. And that's what I'm doing right now. You feel me? So I want to thank God, because if it wasn't for God, I would have went crazy, y'all. You feel me?
So there's P. Diddy almost like praising and thanking God, because if it weren't for God, he would have done crazy things. And obviously that was a split screen. He was doing crazy things. He was abusing women. There are a lot of stories of him actually abusing men and potentially, allegedly, also abusing minors. And this is the music industry. And so when it comes to what Catholics' response is, that an artist can talk about them wanting to thank God, but if they're not actually singing and glorifying God, or if they're only singing about themselves, you know, but with a Christian-ish approach, is that worthy to listen to? Well, again, no one's going to tell you what to listen to, but we have to make sure that there's distinctions between secular music and sacred music. Sacred music really belongs in church. Can you listen to it outside? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do quite a bit. Like whether it be chant or polyphony or whether it be a choral group, all of that is destined for church. Now, what about contemporary secular sounding music in church? Well, that's where we have to kind of look at the lyrics. We also have to look at what is being communicated even in its poetry and in terms of its tone. I mean, if it's like just a bunch of drums and like a guitar riffing and people screaming, you know, it's like, God is love, God is love. No, I don't want that in my church. And that's certainly not for Mass. You wanted some youth group camp, fine, that'll be on the youth minister, but I'm going to make sure that youth minister reviews that playlist to me beforehand, because that stuff can be crazy too. So again, it's not just the lyrics, it's the whole tone, the genre. Is it going to be appropriate? Is it going to lead people to God? Now, outside of that, secular music. And I got to admit, I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, and I still like some of that music, you know, the original rap, so to speak. And yeah, I grew up singing Madonna songs and Michael Jackson songs and Prince songs. And of course, you know, Tears for Fears, Depeche Mode, Erasure, the Pet Shop Boys. So there was like this whole vibe of music that I really liked. And sometimes I'll sing the lyrics and think, really? Okay. Interesting. Should I? Well, I think that there is a time and a place for it. Like, for example, Elvis. He sang and gyrated, you know, and was very sensual in public. But was he a terribly sinful person? Well, aside from things, I think this is where we're going to jump into the whole music industry. I think it can be problematic. But what we have to do is make sure that there is a connection between faith and music. Because if we, the Catholic Church, abandon a connection to the music industry, then you're going to have musicians doing stuff like this.
Diddy's arrest got me sweating like I'm in church, church, church. Ooh, I'm sweating just like a whore in church. I'm praying to God that nobody remembers how close I was to that man. In fact, I had a little bit of gun residue on my hand. Ooh, I almost married him. Probably went to some white parties too. Oh my gosh, don't look into my past, whatever it is.
Anyway, that's J-Lo, Jennifer Lopez. Apparently she's no longer a respected person anymore. And it's not because of that ridiculous demonstration of scantily dressed women looking like nuns in the background. And by the way, that clearly wasn't the song. It was just someone singing. Well, not lip singing. They were basically dubbing garbage, basically. But this is the kind of stuff that we need to pay attention to as a church. Now, it could be very easy for me, and trust me, the temptation was there to just be like, I don't want to talk about P. Diddy because I couldn't care less. I don't know anything about him and I can't stand that music anyway. That could be the attitude of most priests, most religious. But if we do not make a connection to these artists, to the music industry, then what will happen? The same thing that has happened to the entertainment industry. Once we have abandoned the entertainment industry, then the devil will take over. I mean, that's honestly the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing even with the food world, because I want to make sure that food will always remain a sacramental and bring people together and create a sense of hospitality and fraternity so that people can have at least a secular experience of God. So this is the crazy stuff, but we have got to pay attention to it. If not, if we are not paying attention to it and making at least some sort of inroad, then the devil will. So now let's just jump into culture and let's discuss what really is happening and the repercussions of this whole P. Diddy debacle. So if you have been following the news about Sean Diddy Combs, P. Diddy, by the way, I don't even know if P stands for puff or pop. I don't even know, but obviously he was arrested and held without bail, even like a $50 million bail or something like that. The U.S. magistrate Judge Robin Tarnofsky ordered Combs held after hearing from prosecutors and Combs' legal team late Tuesday afternoon. The decision for an appeal was lost, and basically he's in prison for what they would call a lot of violations, including sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. So that's a lot of stuff. But you know what's interesting? There have always been rumors about this. Cat Stevens, popular comedian actor, talked about it quite a bit unabashedly. Here's what he had to say.
It's all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
Yeah. This guy, Cat Williams, has been a vocal critic of a lot of these celebrities, including another woman named Jaguar something or other. I've seen her videos pop up, and they've all tried to expose the fact that there were these, what do they call these, kind of wild parties called freakouts or freak-offs. I honestly don't know what they are, but they are obviously what they're called, but they are obviously sexually drug, alcohol-laced parties where, some of the more strange things is talking about all the baby oil, but people are saying that it wasn't baby oil necessarily, but it was a drug that they would put on people to make them feel a little bit more euphoric and also a little bit more, open to whatever happens at these parties. And you can figure it out. This is stuff that doesn't require rocket science or for you to actually go into it and realize there's some terrible, evil, immoral stuff that happens. But what's interesting about this is, again, people have been talking about it forever. I mean, and talking about it plainly, but in a joking way. And here's how America or American audiences respond to it. This is a discussion with Ellen.
Yes. Yes, you're definitely invited. I invite you to all my parties. You just haven't seemed to show up.
No, well, is it on the East Coast?
Yes.
Well, that's why. Why don't you have one here on the West Coast? Because I work all the time.
Okay, well, maybe I have one at your house.
Where's that? Now, what time would your party start, let's say?
Like 9:30.
Really? That early?
Yeah.
I could make that.
Yeah.
But I could think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like, what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party, though.
Uh-huh.
It'll go from like 9:30 to like maybe 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then, we have the top 2 floors of the hotel.
Mm-hmm. And then it will carry on there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then no, I mean the after party.
Mm-hmm. No, I know about them. I'll listen to the music. I've heard that song, After Party. But that was at the Holiday Inn, I think.
Yeah.
So obviously, I play that clip because it's a little cleaner. But these freak-offs, or there's no party like a Diddy party. This is what even LeBron James was saying, that there are obviously terrible things that happen there. No one is allowed to talk about that because you sign some NDA, some non-disclosure form that says you can't talk about it. And some people are drugged. They probably can't even remember. But I guess my question is, how are these people protected? Are governments involved in this? Are the police involved in this? They mentioned T.D. Jakes, this bishop of, I think, called Harvest Church, a multimillionaire bishop who stepped down because of these allegations and these involvements and accusations against him. What's interesting is that so many other heads of major organizations have stepped down immediately following the arrest of this man, who apparently will either be killed in prison or he's going to spill the beans and just implicate a whole bunch of people, including people of great power and great offices and great positions. What do you think happens at parties like this? Well, what's sad is nobody really knows, but you can easily figure it out. And I guess one of the challenging things for me is that no one is safe, including well-intentioned, talented young people like Justin Bieber. It's been said that Justin Bieber has been going through, again, I am not a follower of pop music or contemporary news in the pop culture scene, but I actually like Justin Bieber. I mean, I thought that when he first was made known to the world on the internet that he was a talented little kid. And I remember very specifically praying for him because the industry will eat up someone like him, chew him up, spit him out, step on him, and repeat. And, I mean, again, I'm not saying, and I was right as if somehow I'm wise. No, it's because I'm not stupid. I see how things are in this world and in this industry. And so here's just a very sad description of what this young boy went through as a kid.
People unearthing videos of Justin Bieber at Diddy parties. Now, Justin Bieber was obviously extremely young when he entered the industry, extremely innocent when he entered the industry, an industry that he did not quite understand as a boy who just knew how to sing and play the guitar and just did both of those things on YouTube. And then he was scooped up and suddenly he was a part of people like Diddy going after him and saying, hey man, why don't you pick up my phone calls? There's actually a video of that. Diddy and Justin Bieber looks to be like 15 years old and said, why aren't you picking up my phone calls? And he's like, oh, I know you were trying to contact me through people and I don't have your number. And the next thing we know, Justin is at Diddy's parties. And in this one video, it looks like whatever Justin is doing, and I'm not going to show it out of just respect for the fact that I truly believe that Justin Bieber is a victim. But whatever he is doing in this video with Trey Songz and Odell Beckham Jr. looks highly suspicious. I can show you a still from that video because I think the relevant part is Justin Bieber is not sober.
Yeah, Justin Bieber, is he a victim? I don't know. But I know Justin Bieber was so young. How did he get to this stage in his life? Well, apparently, someone let him. And this is the sad part. And this is kind of what I want to kind of close the culture discussion about.
When you get 16, you good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Just so check this out, yo. Justin, he's in. You ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy. Him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
Signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Yeah. I'm confused by all of this. Talking about legal guardianship. Isn't that what parents are for? And I know that the mom, probably well-intentioned, just thought this was great. My kid is doing what he's always wanted to do, sing and become famous. But then you just look at these videos of these very talented once children now involved in the entertainment industry, and they are drugged out, they are lost, they are broken, they are depressed. So what I want to do is I want to actually make some commentary about this whole situation. And in this, I really want to share with parents how to approach this topic with young people, because this is absolutely necessary. We got to be able to talk to young people about this. They are listening to the music. They actually understand what's going on. They are familiar with all of these people. I am not. Clearly, I'm struggling to even take these names seriously. P. Diddy? Come on, this is just so ridiculous. These days, if you were to take a look at the rap names, they are ridiculous sounding. I mean, these are people living in a fantasy world. But I'm criticizing, which is exactly what I'm going to suggest people not do. So that's what I'm going to do on my Patreon page. I'm going to break down how we're supposed to approach this from a Catholic perspective in a sense of pastoral takeaway. But for now, what I'd like to do is encourage you to make sure that the music that you're listening to isn't going to lead you farther from God. Let's make sure that we understand the difference between sacred and secular music, and making sure that we know that there's a separation. Can you bring one into the other? To a degree. Should you bring some of the sacred songs into the world? Why not sing holy and religious songs in your car while you're driving along? Feel free. Let us know what you like to listen to, and also if this is making any sense. But more importantly, let's pray for all of the victims who are involved in this situation. What's shocking to me is that people are actually trying to support this Diddy character, and all of the other people, all of these other big name heads and presidents of major companies, they're all stepping down. They don't need, they'll always need our prayers for conversion, but what we also need is justice. If there were things that have been done wrong, and I'm sure that they are terrible things, immoral, illegal things that happen in these freakouts or freak-offs, whatever they're called, these parties, or in the Hollywood entertainment industry, then we need to bring the light of Christ into it and justice needs to be served. Plain and simple. Thank you for listening. Make sure that you join our Patreon community so you can get my follow-up commentary. But also like, subscribe, and share. And again, leave your comments to help us get this beyond the suppressions of the algorithms on the internet. But between now and the next time we discuss faith, culture, and commentary, God bless you and stay hungry for God.